G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I'll be going through how I went in round 19 and then I'll be giving you my round 20 tips. Very excited to jump into this one. So let's go with reviewing round 19. So to start things off, I backed the Sharks to beat the Tigers. I thought they'd win this one comfortably, but to the Tigers' credit, I actually thought, despite the scoreline, they were pretty good. Without Brooks, without Appy, without Dewey, I thought they were pretty good in this game. Sharks, at the end of the day, too good there, but I think the Tigers can be proud of this performance. I really do. I thought the Sharks are a little bit flat and definitely have a bit of improvement there, despite the big win. I think most people would have expected them to win that one a bit more, but I got that one right, so we are good. We're off to a great start, and we're off to an even better start as I get the Raiders over the Dragons. Never tip the Raiders 13 plus. Just don't do it, because I did it. I tipped them by 20. They only won by 10. It's crazy, man. The Raiders get off to such a good start in games against teams that they should be putting away comfortably, and they just fall apart at the end. Credit to them for winning, but it's like they either win close or they get blown out. That's the only two options for them, and it's insane. And I tell you what, if they're playing like this in September, I don't think they get close to winning the comp, to be honest. But they're definitely a team that can win the comp if they play consistently good footy. But if they keep blowing leads like that against top 8 sides, you're not going to recover from it. You're really not. So I definitely think the Raiders have the cattle to get the comp and to win it, but if they play like this, they won't. So got the tip right, but I thought the Raiders were a little bit disappointing. All right, next up, we've got the Warriors against the Eels. I thought this game would be really close. I was not expecting a blowout. Bloody this little fly around this house, I tell you. I thought this game would be a bit closer than this. The Warriors, to their credit, absolutely bounced back after that poor game against the Rabbitohs last week. What a win for them. That is huge, and that's another tip for me. Next up, we've got the Baby Bunnies against the Bulldogs. I backed the Bunnies in this one. I was not confident about it. I tipped them 1-12. I did not think that the Rabbitohs would flog the Bulldogs. I was hopeful we'd get the win. But to the Bulldogs' credit, they were brilliant. Not Kyle Flanagan, Tanner Boyd. Again, I'll get it right. Toby Sexton, great pickup for them. I really think that Toby Sexton and Matt Burton are the future halves for that club. I really do. Also, shout out to Josh Reynolds, who announced his retirement today at the time of recording this video. Selfless man, honestly, selfless man. He came back to the Bulldogs for, I guess a swan song farewell, and then he said, mate, I'll take myself out of that top 30 so you guys can sign Toby Sexton, and then announces his retirement. Honestly, he can be a dirty player, but geez, you got to give him credit, man. Show some respect to him, because he is a bloody good bloke. But yeah, first tip wrong, stitch up, but it is what it is. Bulldogs played well in this game. Credit to them. They played well. Then I tipped the Titans to beat the Dolphins. Bloody Titans. Throwing away leads again. Look, it is what it is. I personally think the Titans were a little bit hard done by in this one because, in my opinion, the Dolphins were offside down the other end. But that's a story for another day. Credit to the Dolphins. Good win without their origin star, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. And then obviously I've tipped Queensland, but it is not Wednesday night yet. You guys, that's not a spoiler alert. You guys would have saw that in my origin video. That would have dropped. Well, that's dropping tonight. But for you, it would have been last night. Please make sure you go and watch that too, because I reckon you might enjoy it. All right, next up, we've got round 20. Let's do our tips for this week. Only 7 games this weekend because there are 3 teams on the bye: the Dragons, the Rabbitohs, and the Raiders. I believe, yes, that is correct. All right, so starting things off, we've got Newcastle against the West Tigers. This is a big game for the Knights because if they win this, they won't be that far off the top 8, to be honest. So crazy stuff. I am tipping the Knights. I think they'll win this one 13 plus. Pretty confident in that. I don't think the West Tigers welcome back any players this weekend. Could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I think the Knights get the job done here and get it done pretty well. Next up, Broncos I know it's not at home, but I think the Broncos will absolutely tell the doggies up in this game. Another 13-plus win. I'd be very surprised if the Bulldogs got close to this one. And I tell you what, $1.43 odds for the Broncos. That's pretty good. I'd be taking that. I really would. So Broncos for me get an easy win there over the Dogs. Next up, we got Manly against the Cowboys. This game is being played at Four Pines Park, which hurts me to say. It's Brookvale Oval. Just call it Brookvale Oval. There's no need for this Four Pines and rubbish. But look, normally I would tip Manly, but the Cowboys are playing such good footy, I can't tip against them. I think this game could potentially be the game of the round. Both teams are sitting basically one win out of the top 8, although with the Rabbitohs bye, they'll go up. It's more than likely that they won't be in the 8 after this weekend, but still, it's still a battle for the 8, basically. So I think this game could potentially be the game of the round. I am going to back the Cowboys purely based on form at the moment, but this is a game that Manly definitely could win, in my opinion. All right, next up, we got the Roosters and the Storm. Late game on Saturday. This one, again, could be interesting. Depending on backups and if there's any injuries caused from Origin and stuff like that, I think the Storm should win this game. I think it'll be. I'm not going to say 13 plus. I'm going to say they'll win it by 12 points. I think it'll be on the higher end of a 1-12. I do think the Roosters still have a little bit of fight left in them. I just can't see them making the top 8. So I think Storm win this, but I don't think it'll be an absolute blowout. Next up, we got the Warriors against the Sharks. This game is being played in New Zealand. Let me just check tip percentage here. Wow, that is crazy, man. It's like neck and neck. I'm back in the Warriors based off their performance last week. They were phenomenal against the Eels. I know the Eels didn't have their Origin players, but the Warriors can only play what's in front of them. They bounced back with a great win there. And then you got the Sharks, who were good against the Tigers, but I don't think they were great. And the Sharks are yet to beat a team in the top 8. And until they do that, I'm still going to keep tipping these top 8 teams, bro. I'm still going to keep tipping these top 8 teams. So I think Warriors win this one. I think it'll be a 1-12 margin. I don't think it'll be a blowout. But yeah, I don't see the Sharkies winning this game, to be honest. Next up, we got the Dolphins against the Panthers. I'm just going to click the Panthers. You know, even if they rest their Origin stars, or some of them, I still think they're pretty good to win this game. I really do. The Dolphins, they can prove a lot of people wrong, and it is being played, I believe it's being played at Suncorp. Let me just double check that though, but I believe it is at Suncorp. No, it is at KO Stadium, so they might get up there at Redcliffe, but I am going to tip the Panthers. I'm going the safe bet there. Look, that could change leading up to the game if the Panthers are to rest a lot of their Origin stars, but I mean, the only players that would be out would be Crichton, Yo, and Toe, I believe. Martin as well. So there's not really. I still think that Panthers team without those players can get this done. So I'm pretty high on the Panthers winning that one, to be fair. And then finally, we've got the Titans against the Eels. Man, the Titans have been so unlucky these last few weeks. They really have. But with the Eels, if their players back up from Origin, I think the Eels win this one comfortably. I am going to say on the higher end of a 1-12 margin, but yeah, I can't see the Titans winning this game, and it really hurts me to say that because I backed them to beat the Dolphins, and I thought they were really unlucky, a few calls going against them. But yeah, let's recap round 20. Knights 13 plus, Broncos 13 plus, Cowboys 1-12, Storm 1-12, Warriors 1-12, Panthers 13 plus, and I think the Eels win this 1-12. I do. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think the Eels win it around that 10-12 margin. So, yeah, that is my tips for round 20, guys. Let me know who you're tipping down below. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.